Welcome back to Top 5 Best, where we have a lot of love for animals. I mean, just look at some of our previous videos. Whether they're small and cute or big and scary, it's hard not to love them. Sometimes our love for them is so big that it pushes us out of our comfort zone just so we can give them a hand when they need it the most. On that note, today we're going to be looking at 10 amazing animal rescues. We're going to be looking at new stories of love and hope, and the word you gotta keep in mind is amazing. Each one of these stories is amazing in its own way, as they involve getting animals rescued within some of the most challenging of circumstances. So let's have a look at the stories I have for you today, beginning with number 10. The Police Officer and the Horse. We're in a time where a lot of fires are taking over in different parts of the world, mainly Australia, the Amazon, the Maya biosphere, and of course, California. While a lot of people and animals manage to make it out of the fires into safe areas, many still need to help to survive, especially when they're alone and no one is looking after them. That was the case of this horse who was lost and hungry, but that all changed when a brave police officer came over and took the horse out to graze in the middle of the fires. The kind officer put on a mask to protect himself from inhaling any toxic air and went out to help the hungry animal. Sometimes, fires and other natural disasters make animals feel scared and unsafe. But thanks to brave heroes like the officer in the story, these animals can receive the help they need and carry on with their lives. Number 9. The Donkeys in the Wildfire. Next on this list is another story about animals in the midst of fires. This time it's the story of two disoriented donkeys who were stressed and lost in the middle of the Paradise Wildfires near Sacramento, California. This was back in 2018. The fires were so bad that they took the lives of many humans, but also animals, wild and domestic alike. But these donkeys survived the fires thanks to the help of some kind firefighters who spotted the scared animals as they were driving near them. The donkeys were running away, but they didn't know exactly where to go. The firefighters then brought the donkeys into safety with the help of some delicious cupcakes. The two donkeys were then taken in by animal control where experts looked after them. Natural disasters really put everyone's world upside down, including animals. But stories like this one show that there are always kind and loving souls around, ready to help when it's needed. Number 8. The Monkey and the Volcano Eruption. What can be scarier than wildfires? Volcano eruptions, of course, because let's be honest here, that's just a whole bunch of wildfire plus extra lava. Or magma. I forget which one it is. Either way, a few years ago, the island of Bali in Indonesia was threatened by the eruption of the big dormant Mount Agung. It was a very unpredictable time, and people living around the volcano were asked to evacuate. However, leaving their houses behind was not an easy process. A lot of them had animals, and the people had to decide whether they wanted to leave their animals behind and risk losing them forever, or find a way to bring them out. But there were also some wild animals that had to find a way to escape on their own and put their lives at risk. That is the case of this wild monkey that found himself in trouble in the midst of all the chaos. But thanks to the efforts of a kind soul, the monkey was able to escape the threatening volcano and find help and recover in a safe place far from Mount Agung. Number 7. Saving Nicholas the Red Fox. Some groups of animals suffer so much that there are entire organizations built to protect and care for their specific needs, and that is the case of the Fox Project, a charity based in Great Britain that has been helping foxes since the early 90s. Thanks to them, a little fox named Nicholas was able to receive proper help after having an intense and concerning case of mange. If you're familiar with mange, you'll know how scary and unattractive it is. This disease that affects the skin of mammals is so ugly that a lot of people reject animals struggling with it. Unrightly so, but hey, that's just my opinion. But Nicholas was lucky to find help in the arms of the team at the Fox Project. Of course, it took a lot of treatment and many oil massages to get them back on his feet. But he is now healthy and back at his home. The look in his eyes show you how loved and hopeful he felt. Animals definitely have feelings, and just like humans, they don't want to feel rejected either. Number 6. The Leopard Inside the Well. Leopards are just so lovely and beautiful. They're so nimble, exotic, it's hard not to admire them. But they're also pretty scary. So what would you do if you came across one of these beautiful and threatening creatures and found her stuck, in danger, in desperate need for your help? Would you come and give her a hand? I think some would have to think a lot before making this decision. But this actually did happen in India a few years ago when a 7-year-old female leopard got stuck inside a 9-meter open well in a village in India. The first person to spot the animal was a man who came early in the morning to turn on the water pump to get the well going. But right when he was about to start doing his task, he made eye contact with the desperate eyes of the leopard who was crying for help. The man ran away, not in fear, but he actually went to call his local authorities who would know exactly what to do. It would take at least 40 kilometers for a team of experts to get there and to provide the help that the leopard needed. In the meantime, some locals were able to lift the leopard with a ladder and put her on a temporary platform while waiting for help to arrive. The team finally arrived and they were able to pull the leopard out with the proper tools. At the end, the animal was scared and tired, but she was able to recover and get back to the wild, all thanks to the help of one kind human. Well, several, but the one that started it. Number 5. The goats along the tracks of the NYC subway tracks. We all know goats usually belong in farms or in very remote mountains, anywhere but the tracks of the subway in New York City. For that reason, it's hard to explain how these two goats got here back in August of 2018. They were first spotted by a train operator at around 10:30 a.m. He immediately reported the incident to his authorities and they came to corral the goats with the help of the New York Police Department. At all times, the animals stayed safe and they did not affect the subway service. While no one was able to fully tell where the goats came from, some people suspected they were escaping from a slaughterhouse. The goats had some cuts in their ears. The animals were then tranquilized and sent to animal centers in New York City where experts knew how to care for them. Days later, they were transferred to Farm Sanctuary thanks to the help of John and Tracy Stewart. Now the goats can live happily and freely at Farm Sanctuary. Number 4. The elephant who used to give people rides. For many people, a trip to Southeast Asia is not complete until they ride on the back of an elephant. It is quite an exotic experience and it's very popular in countries like Thailand and Indonesia. However, I hate to break it to you, but such activity might be appealing to you, but it's not necessarily enjoyable for the poor animals. It is known that elephants used for tourism purposes undergo a lot of abuse and exploitation just so their owners can make money off of them. It is quite sickening, but it does happen more often than you would expect. One example of this is the story of an elephant named Boondee, who used to give people rides in Pattaya, Thailand. Poor Boondee was overly skinny and even went half blind after all the abuse she went through. Luckily, Boondee caught the attention of friends at the Wildlife Friends Foundation in Thailand. They came to rescue the elephant and took her back to their sanctuary. Now the elephant can live freely in a safe environment far from tourists and closer to nature. She even reconnected with an old friend named Ganda who she met in an elephant camp a long time ago. Number 3. The lifeguard and the shark. Sometimes the animals that need our help are the ones we try to avoid the most. You already saw how a leopard had to be helped in India and how difficult it could have been to offer help to an animal that would usually prey on humans. And now here's another animal that I'm not sure I would really know how to help. The shark. Sharks are scary, they're known to bite people, and in some cases their attacks can be very serious. And in some species they're known man-eaters, like the tiger shark, the hammerhead shark, and the bull shark. However, the shark in this story was stuck on the beach, very close to reverse drowning as he was not able to get himself back in the water. A lifeguard became aware of the situation and immediately came to help out. He put the shark on a surfboard and swam to deep waters until it was safe to release the shark and put him back in his natural habitat. That is one lucky day for the shark to be surrounded by such a helpful person. In the past, other sharks have found themselves in similar situations, but the humans near them have not been nearly as helpful or as kind as this lifeguard. Some are too afraid, others are taking selfies. Sharks are indeed scary, but we can't turn our backs on them if they need our help. Now it's time for the day's best pick. How far would you go to help an animal? Would you put your life at risk? The picture I have today made me realize that this boy must really love that puppy. I mean, that kid is pretty much underwater. Could have almost drowned. And with that, number 2. The boy who almost drowned to save a puppy. There isn't a lot of information about this picture other than it's associated with major floods in Mexico back in 2013. In the midst of disaster, this boy made sure to take care of himself and the puppy. Natural disasters affect us all, humans and animals alike. But stories like this one help to remind us that we gotta take care of each other and offer help every time we get a chance.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
Number 1. The orphan rhino. The African continent is widely popular for its impressive wildlife. Lions, zebras, giraffes, elephants, hippos. You can spot a lot of the largest and wild animals in this part of the world. However, sometimes people spot these animals in the least expected locations, like this young rhino cat that was found wandering alone near the Kruger National Park in South Africa back in 2014. The poor cat was probably orphaned after her mother got killed by humans. However, thanks to some motorists who spotted the young rhino, the animal was able to get proper help. The first thing they did was to offer her water, and they stayed with her until Care for Wild Africa sent people to pick her up and bring her to a place where she could receive medical attention and properly recover. The human animal is a beautiful and terrible creature, capable of limitless compassion and yet unfathomable cruelty. And from this story alone, it's shown that we can conquer our cruelty and become very compassionate, at least when animals are involved. What was your favorite animal rescue? Would you go out of your way to help an animal in need, even if it is a wild and scary animal? Let us know in the comments section below. With all that said and done, folks, that's our video for today. I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.